Hey there, happy day. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Let's talk about how for the birds, being for the birds, can be used to supersize and grow and help you in your business. I found this idiom really interesting and fascinating. It's actually from the first half of the 19th century. It's an American idiom, and it came from the soldiers, especially during World War II. And it was because they observed that birds were pecking at horse manure as they were going about their day and about their business and their military stuff. And they thought it was so silly and so ridiculous that they said and began using the expression that this is for the birds or shit for the birds. And that transitioned to just for the birds because it's a little nicer than cursing. And it could be related to by more people. And over time, the idiom for the birds came to mean anything that was silly or funny or ridiculous or worthless or not of any value to anybody but the birds or a specific tiny group of people or creatures, in this case, birds. So how can we relate this to our business? How does this have anything to do with our business and wanting to grow our business? Well, I went on a little journey as I was looking into this, and I realized that bird watching, something I know nothing about, zero, zilch, nada, is an $80 billion, at least the statistics from like 9 years ago, had it at an $80 billion a year industry. And it also turns out that as part of the pandemic, the popularity of bird watching has skyrocketed. So millions and millions, I can't remember if it was 45 million people or whatever, are bird watchers. And I'm like, that's a lot. That's a pretty good size of the population. And during the pandemic, when people were in shutdowns and safe in place or whatever they call it, they started watching birds. And one of the podcasts on birds almost doubled their downloads with their, I don't know how often they download, but their specific frequency of downloads, if it's weekly or monthly. They almost doubled them at the beginning of the pandemic. Because remember when we started with the shutdowns, at least here in the United States, it was as the North American birds were starting to begin their migration back up for spring. And so people have really latched onto and become bird watchers. And it's an $80 billion. That was mind boggling to me. So I can't imagine what it'll be going forward. And just taught me to remember that just because I don't know anything about something or am not interested in it doesn't mean that the people that I work with, the people that I serve, the people, my customers aren't. That might be one of their loves, their joys, their hobbies, and I forget about it. So it reminds me as a business owner to ask more questions, always be getting to know my ideal customers and my ideal clients and my customers better by knowing what's important to them, right? We always want to know, the better we know our customers, the better we can serve them. And we might be able to find creative ways to provide other values and services and products within our offers that would really benefit them. So sometimes things that seem silly to us or things that are worthless are actually really, really important to the people that we care and the people that we serve. Uh, I think I've been racking my brain trying to think of how I've used this idiom in my life. Well, that's for the birds, or if anyone said it to me, and nothing stands out. I know I'm familiar with it. I know what it means. I've heard it before. I didn't realize it came from actually manure, birds eating things out of manure, but that's interesting. It's fun part about looking into what things mean and the origin and where they came from, because sometimes we think things had and came from a total different reason than they did, and it's fun to find out that okay, that's totally not what I thought, but I get how it came to be, and I understand how it morphed over time and became what it is now and what it means now. So other ways that I would use this idiom for the birds to grow and build my business is to ask myself again, what things are important to the people that I serve, and are there ways that I can serve those things as well? So if there's a charitable institution or a charitable thing that a big majority of my customers are interested in supporting, like donating money to a bird, what are bird things called, a bird conservatory or something, maybe that's something we could do with our charitable contributions for the year. There's all kinds of creative ways to do it. It also reminds me to add fun and lightheartedness and silliness to my business as it's growing. Sometimes it can be really, really stressful, and nothing reduces stress faster really than humor, right? So sometimes we just need to add some fun and silly celebratory things to the things that we do. And we need to remember to not take ourselves too seriously, no matter what business or what we're doing in our life. Because guess what? If we take ourselves too seriously, we become a very dull bird. So our idiom for today, I would love to know, are you a bird watcher? Do you have a favorite bird? Do you have a least favorite bird? I would say my favorite bird's a hummingbird. My least favorite bird is probably crows, because I used to have a lot of crows in our yard out in the country, and they're always caw, caw, cawing, and then pecking up the yard. And or buzzards. I don't really love buzzards either. But you could share your favorite bird, or you could share your experience with this idiom. Any questions, hit me up in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. What does it mean? Where does it come from? And how might you use it in your business right now? Take care.